Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabansky, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see it. Today, we got one of those shows that I'm absolutely going to love. Probably is going to piss off some people, but who gives a damn? We're going to get into it. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel and check out the Dreamers Pro podcast that we have below. And also, if you're not following us on Facebook, for those of you who use Facebook, be sure to follow us on Facebook. Anyway, let me get into this topic. LeBron recently made some headlines about 48 hours ago when he came out there and had some comments. He made some comments that left a lot of us scratching our heads, right? He was on his show with JJ Redick called Mind the Game with LeBron James and JJ Redick, their podcast, which is a very, very successful podcast. And I'm not surprised by any of it. You know, they get into a lot of X's and O's, and I was watching the show yesterday, just to kind of go off on a tangent real quick. I was watching a show yesterday on Gil's Arena, and they were arguing about how the Boston Celtics should guard Luka Doncic. About a 20 second clip or 15 minutes clip or something like that. Fantastic clip. Listening to Rashard and Gilbert Arenas go back at it, going back and forth with each other, and then hearing Kendrick Perkins Kenyon Martin moderate the argument. Great segment. You guys should definitely check that segment out. But anyway, back to what LeBron said. So he was on the show, and then JJ Redick asked him a question. And the question had to do with Kyrie Irving. And then LeBron came out there and said something that surprised a lot of us. And we even produced a show about it, which was he believes that Kyrie Irving is the most talented NBA player of all time. And I think by LeBron saying that, he may have inadvertently removed himself out of the GOAT debate with Michael Jordan. So that's what we want to get into today. Before we even get into what LeBron had to say, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select two or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting two entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to play again what LeBron had to say on his podcast, Mind the Game podcast, and then we're going to come back and really get into our thoughts here. Take a listen to this here.
So with Kyrie, what is your favorite thing about Kyrie, the basketball player?
Listen, I will call Kyrie the wizard all the time. Like, all the time. Like, there was nothing on the basketball floor that Kyrie couldn't do. And sitting here watching it, you know, I'm playing like so happy and so proud and to watch him and continue his growth or whatever the case may be. And at the same time, I'm so mad at the same time that I am not his running mate anymore. So I'm like, I just remember those times. And back to what you were saying, JJ, like, to have a guy like Kyrie Irving as the ultimate wild card, that's like having it's like having a draw 4 in your hand every time someone deals you cards in Uno. Like, every single time, because he has the ability to, like you said, I saw in Game 1, Western Conference Finals, Game 1. You know, I think up until that point, I don't know the stat because I'm not writing down the stats and I don't call the games like you guys, but I think Kyrie was only averaging like 8 points in the first half, like in the second round of the playoffs. You know, he was getting 16 to 20 in the second half, but in the first half of games, he
It was
wasn't
like 6 to, it was like 6 to 8. Yeah, I don't know
like
the
6 to
exact
8
number.
points,
It was 6 to 8. Yeah.
and you're like, okay, you're gonna have Kyrie in the fourth, but I need you sometimes in the first half too, brother. But like what he did in game one, it was like at the Western Conference Finals, you was like, that was like, oh, Dallas may be able to not only win the Western Conference Finals, they might be able to win the whole thing because of that wild card. I have so many words to praise Kyrie that I end up with absolutely none because he's the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen. He has the best gifts I've ever seen of any NBA player. I've never seen a guy in my NBA life that feels better at times shooting with his offhand than he does with his primary hand. If Kyrie's off in a game with his right hand, he will literally go exclusively to his left hand. I've never seen nothing like that.
You heard what LeBron had to say. Why am I saying LeBron may have mistakenly removed himself out of the GOAT debate? I'll tell you why. By LeBron saying that Kyrie Irving is the most talented player that ever played in the NBA, he's saying that one of his teammates is the most talented player in the history of basketball. That means that you had a lot of help in your NBA career. You're also saying that you've had a teammate that was better than even Scottie Pippen, who is considered to be Jordan's best teammate ever. You're saying you played with the most talented player ever, which means that you had more help than Jordan. Now, did LeBron need to say this in order for us to know that he had more help than Jordan? No, because we all knew this. Like, it's quite clear that, that LeBron has had the most help of probably any NBA superstar ever. But for sure, he's had more help than Michael Jordan. I'll give you guys, I'll quickly prove to you why I say that. If you look at Michael Jordan's all-star teammates, their total cumulative all-star appearances add up to 10. 10. That's Scottie Pippen, who had, I think, 6 or 7. Horace Grant had 1, I think, or 2. And Dennis Rodman had 1 or 2. The total number is 10. If you look at LeBron's teammates and their cumulative all-star appearances, it's like over 100. It's crazy. The rate it's absurd. Like it's crazy, right? And you also consider the fact that LeBron has had talents like Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade, who was a Finals MVP. Jordan never played with a Finals MVP. Now he had Dwayne Wade, he had Chris Bosh, he had Kyrie Irving, he had Anthony Davis. These are, I mean, some of these guys are top 75 guys that we're talking about here. For LeBron to now come out and say that, then it begs the question. So if you've had the most talented player, if you played with the most talented player in NBA history for a stretch in your NBA career, and you still weren't able to pass Jordan, then you don't even deserve to be in a conversation with him. You don't. Some people like to use this argument where they try to prop up Scottie Pippen and make him seem larger than life figure, like he was this great player. Like, okay, whatever, right? He was a great player, but he ain't as great as the way y'all making him seem. But now you got LeBron coming out here and saying that Kyrie is the most talented player ever, and he was your teammate. Essentially. So what does that say about the debate in terms from a help standpoint? It's crazy. The people like to get on Jordan for his first few years in the NBA, where he couldn't really have any real playoff success, without forgetting that it was in Jordan's 6 years. It took Michael Jordan 6 years in the NBA to play with an all-star caliber player in Scottie Pippen. He became an all-star in 1990, 1991. And that's when Jordan went to the finals. And he went to 3 consecutive finals. 3. And then from that point forward, the minute Scottie became an all-star, Jordan only lost 1 playoff series from that point on until he retired. Hear what I just said. From the moment he got 1 all-star, he only lost 1 playoff series when he was playing with at least 1 all-star. 1. Some of you are like, 1? Yeah, 1. From 1990, 1991 to 1998 when he retired, MJ lost 1 playoff series. 1. It sounds crazy, right? That's exactly what happened. Because he won 3 in a row. He retired. He came back. Then he lost to the Magic, I think in round 1 or something. When he came back wearing the number 45. And in the very next 3 years, he went on to win 3 other championships. Was anyone ever saying that Jordan played with the most talented player in NBA history? I don't think so. I think that might have been a mistake on LeBron's part. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments and we catch you on the next show. Peace.